Let's put aside brand and shape of vehicle for just a minute, because believe it or not, there are still broken car guys and gals like you and I that select their rides based on output figures. Knowing that, what if I told you that there was a green choice that had more horsepower and the same torque as the performance flavor of the same vehicle? Would you buy a hybrid? Now, admittedly, that is quite a bold claim, so how do we arrive at that? It starts by blending a plug-in electric hybrid system with the Volkswagen corporate EA888 2-liter 4-cylinder gasoline direct-injected turbocharged engine. Try to say that fast 5 times. In the total system horsepower department, 362, total system torque, 369. Now, for the avoidance of doubt, the SQ5, which was a V6, 349 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. Now, this only works as an all-wheel drive system. It is mated to a 14.1 kilowatt-hour battery. Doing some digging on charge times, with a level 2 charger, it's about 2.5 hours of charge time. That is either A, incredibly fast, or B, a very small battery. Total EV driving range, 19 miles. We'll have to circle back on that one later. Now, all that mumbo jumbo is fine and good, but what does it mean to you and I in the real world, especially considering this is an SUV? So let's first talk practicality. And did I tell you it's a 4-cylinder? It's kind of a small SUV, so towing, not that much, 2,000 pounds. Fuel economy, a completely different kettle of fish, because that is the reason for being of this thing. And here it's more MPG-E than MPG. 43, 64, 50 combined. Then there are the performance figures. Here, it's got a second propulsion system, so that's going to slow things down a little bit, but still respectable. 0 to 60, 5 seconds, and VMAX 130 miles an hour. Ooh, 2 propulsion systems. You know what that means. 4,619 pounds, or depending on how you express your weights and measures, 2,095 kilograms. Now, 2 other rather pertinent facts there. Number 1, that is over 300 pounds more than the V6 SQ5 you and I already driven, and over 500 pounds more than the 4-cylinder Q5 with that dynamic mode. Oh, wow! You put your foot to the floor and there is instantaneous torque. I got to admit, I drove this thing on the transit from the hangar up to here, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, torque comes in around 3,000 RPM. It really doesn't feel the same amount of torque as that SQ5. Wow, okay, a little squill there. It doesn't feel like the same amount of torque as that SQ5, but shame on me, I wasn't driving it really aggressively. You really got to go full taps, and the thing just wakes up. Now, the transmission here is different than the SQ5. The SQ5, I'm guessing because of the torque there, the way it handled it, I don't know, but that one has a Tiptronic, meaning a torque converter automatic. This one is blessed with a dual clutch. However, it doesn't feel like the Volkswagen Group dual clutch. It's kind of slow in the way it shifts. My thinking is the way it's programmed with this engine, there's like a cliff of torque here. Now, while you and I are on the topic of 2 propulsion systems, how is the handoff between the electric motor and the gas engine? Here, I have to say it's 2 personalities. Around town, when you're not pushing it aggressively, meaning not what we're doing now, it's pretty seamless. It's actually really good. The Volkswagen Group have kind of dialed this in, and it's in this instance, the real-world application of the hybrid, the handoff, that this performs a little bit better than the average bear, meaning it's a bit better, more seamless in the handoff than other similar applications of like sort of performance-oriented fancy German SUVs that are hybrids. But when you get into driving it aggressively, no, not really just up here, but also in town, that's where you get into, you need to have like a downshift. You need this like step into at least 3,000 RPM in the gas engine, and that's when you can push this thing a bit more aggressively. That mode, if we could even call it that, meaning not the mode in the car, rather the mode in your brain where you do either need or want to drive aggressively, kind of like we got from a standing start. You got it there, it's seamless there, it goes to instantaneous torque there, but something is missing midstream. And that's where it has the biggest delta between this and the SQ5, because the numbers tell a different story than real-world performance. Yes, it is indeed that time again to play your favorite game, Mind the Absence game, with today's contestant, the Audi Q5 that we were supposed to shoot before that Audi SQ5 we shot in January. She got temporarily indisposed on the streets of Los Angeles. Long story, but she's here now. The 2021 Audi Q5 plug-in hybrid 55 model. I do not know why they use those numbers. Like the 20, just the regular four cylinders, the 45. I'm confused. $51,900. To that we add the color. We thought that SQ5 in that sort of like green, whatever it was, really was stunning. This ultra blue metallic absolutely comes off the page. And notice, this one has the proper satin chrome finish, or really aluminum finish, which really highlights the blue and well worth the $595 for the paint. However, the interior, that is a bit of a problem because it is black. Now, yes, there is the rock gray stitching, which is lovely, but can we have like a light gray interior, or better yet, a saddle interior? Maybe a two-tone? That would be great, especially when you consider the gray and brown birchwood inlays are fitted as standard to this, and I would argue this is what we want in an Audi RS6 Avant. Anyway, we press on to the premium package. This, it brings about a lot of stuff, but the things that really count to you and I, of course, the panoramic sunroof, the adaptive cruise control. No, this is not a self-driving car, level 2 autonomy, so it's adaptive in traffic. Of course, the Qi wireless charger. Why is that optional on a $50,000 car? Extended leatherette interior. So it's not like the extended leather on a Porsche like that one over there. Rather, it's vinyl that's in more places. It looks good, I have to say. And then the advanced Audi key for $3,900. Then, believe it or not, navigation is optional on an almost $52,000 car, $1,500. Can you fix that? Then something very important, the Bang & Olufsen stereo system works incredibly well here, and a bargain at $950. Then the 20-inch wheels. These look very good. However, considering the purpose of this vehicle, it's designed to go around town. It's sort of an electric car. I don't need the big wagon wheels. I would probably do the 19s, which come fitted as standard. However, these are a bargain at $500. Then the only thing that we have to add is the destination and handling from San Jose, Chiapa, Mexico. No, this is not made in Deutschland, for $1,095 for a total retail price of $60,740. So I completely appreciate that this, a 4-cylinder hybrid, has the same torque output as the high-performance V6. However, they should have changed the number even a little bit, maybe like 368 instead of 369, because what goes on in your brain is you think, oh, this is a good performance version substitute, one that gets better fuel economy. And for the most part, it is. Meaning you got a little bit of electric range, you do get a bump in fuel economy, but it's not a performance car equivalent. It's good, it's not as sharp, it's not as kind of otherworldly that the SQ5 is, and that thing was unusually good. This is moderate. It's not tuned the way the SQ5 is. Like, for example, the brakes. 13.8-inch diameter rotors in the front, 13 in the rear. They're good, they're direct, feedback ain't great, and the pedal modulation is just okay. But on the flip side of that, they are indeed regenerative brakes, and usually you would feel like this on-off switch sensation, something that plagues hybrids and electric cars. Here, you don't feel that. That then brings us to the biggest aspect of the driving dynamics, and no, not the setup, that's very much the same as the SQ5, multi-link front and rear. However, what's going on here is you got all that extra weight. There's still good moderate control over pitch, good control over squat and dive, which is a big deal for an Audi. However, it's just something you notice immediate when you get into the car. It doesn't impact the ride quality. It's only when driving it maybe at like 5/10 and above. Now, something rather important to remember as we put together these disparate aspects of driving dynamics, the wheelbase on this thing is rather short, 111 inches. Now, why is that important? Because it doesn't have enough proportions to spread that extra weight amongst a longer wheelbase. So I am going to attempt to answer the question from the top of the episode. Yes, I would buy the hybrid. Why? Well, the EV driving only range combined with the crazy high fuel economy is far more valuable to me in a baby buggy. Yeah, the SQ5 is significantly sharper and wonderful to drive. It's just not as valuable to me in this package. This is 6, maybe 7/10 of the SQ5, and frankly, the rest of that kind of performance, that's what I have a 911 for, which brings us to the wish list. And here, 19 miles of range. Really? Really? We need to fix that. Yeah, you might consider me greedy for 100 miles of range, but that is what is going to be the game changer for this thing. At least 50, maybe 60 miles of range. And here's why. It's not just me, it's the kind of folks that spend ridiculous amounts of money on a Tesla. Some of them are buying because of Elon and EV and all that kind of stuff, but most of them, let's be honest, are buying those things because of the design and saying they got a Tesla, they're more into the brand. And those people, they were driving Audis before Teslas. And this, it's got a cool design, and let's be honest, Tesla, they copied the Audi S7 because everybody wanted an Audi S7. That's why a Model S looks the way it does. So you kind of see where I'm going here. And this is the point of the episode where I turn this around to you guys to opine in the comments below or via our social media. MotoManTV, all one word, MotoManTV, all one word, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And with that, a wee request for the folks at Audi. Can you send any future Audis to the hangar in this lovely shade of blue, but with a much better contrasting interior? That would be wunderbar. Until I see you in the next episode, bis später.